What's happening, people? Welcome back to the Club of Combat, and today we're talking about Zuffa Boxing. So there's been a lot of talk recently about Zuffa Boxing, and this is something that could genuinely change the landscape of professional boxing if it launches, the way that it's described. Zuffa, the company behind the UFC, has flirted with entering boxing for years, but now it's finally happening. And what's clear is that it won't follow traditional boxing models. One of the biggest points we know so far is that Zuffa Boxing does not want to work with existing boxing sanctioning bodies. That means no WBC, no WBA, no IBF, and no WBO titles. Instead, Zuffa plans to introduce its own belts with one champion per weight class, kind of similar to how the UFC operates. The idea is to simplify boxing, fewer belts, clearer rankings, and fewer political roadblocks, preventing the best fights from happening. Dana White has been very vocal over the years about what he sees as boxing's biggest problems. Too many champions, fighters being protected, and promoters struggling to make the fights that the people want. As much as that sounds good with less politics, recently we're seeing more and more politics and perhaps some favoritism in the UFC. Another major issue surrounding Zuffa Boxing is the Ali Act. The Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act is a US law designed to protect boxers from exploitation. It separates promoters from managers, requires financial transparency, and gives fighters certain contractual protections. Dana White has openly criticised the Ali Act, arguing that it makes it impossible for boxing to run like a league. It's also important to note that the UFC does not operate under the Ali Act because MMA isn't covered the same way as boxing is. Zuffa Boxing appears to be exploring ways to operate outside traditional boxing frameworks, potentially through international structures or alternative promotion models. How that will look like legally is still unclear, but it's likely to face resistance from regulators and established boxing organisations. So what does that mean for fighters? On one hand, a Zuffa-style model could offer structure, regular fights, and a clear title pathway. On the other hand, it will place a lot of control in the hands of one promotion, which is always a concern in combat sports. Right now, there's no confirmed roster, but what is clear is intent. Zuffa Boxing wants full control, its own belts, its own rankings, and its own system. Their first event should be happening Friday, the 23rd of January, so it'll be interesting to see what comes of it. And they're planning to have 12 events in 2026. Whether this becomes a long-term solution or a short-lived experiment is to be seen. But it's no longer just a rumour, something is being built. Join the club, live the fight. Oos!